And good afternoon, and welcome to the Academic Drive event hosted by the Computer Science Society at University of Hertfordshire. My name is Bijaya Limbu. I am a computer science graduate from the university, and I also work as a Keep Associate developer. And I'm here today to speak about my experience as my job experience as an associate and also as a former committee member of the Computer Science Society. Now, a bit about my role itself. The role Keep Associate stands for Knowledge Exchange and Embed Partnership. This basically means it's a collaboration between the university, a small to medium enterprise, and a graduate within Hertfordshire region. I play the role of a developer, an associate developer, so I get to work with the university as well as an SME, a tech company from Hertfordshire. And I work with the Professor of Information Systems to conduct research. Once I conduct the research, I go back to the university and I collaborate with the Computer Science Department, go back to the company and develop the application itself, where I work in an engineering team. We've got 6 engineers, we've got six developers, and we work on an agile project. In summary, it's a green IT project. It's an interesting project. It's an exciting project. We're building a sustainable software. So it's a first of its kind. So I think that's about it from my associate role. I would also like to speak about my responsibilities as an committee member of the Computer Science Society. I was fortunate enough to work with the current chair of the society, Aravind, who has been tremendously helpful in everything in the past, and I can see that the society is doing so well. I'll speak about the role itself, my experience as a committee member a bit more later on, and I'd also like to mention and point out the route that I followed to get a full-time role at the university, the hiring process, as well as some places where I needed to work a lot as a computer science student or a graduate. Now, I'd like to point out that this route is not the only way you can get into the tech industry. There are numerous ways out there. But this is the one that worked for me. More importantly, when I was an undergraduate student myself, I wasn't exposed to such opportunities to understand how someone from an external, someone without technical experience could get into the industry. But this is what I took. This is the route that I took, really. So the route that I took, I've noticed that I've written down 10 steps. I'd like to point out that I have completed 8 of these, and I'm working on the last 2, which is way too advanced and something that I want to achieve within the next few decades. So for starting off with the bachelor's degree, seeing as the Computer Science Society has a lot of undergraduate students, I am willing to bet that most of the students are hoping to get a good bachelor's degree, which is a very good start if you want to get into the tech industry. Again, I want to point out that I've met a lot of developers as well as IT professionals who have followed a different route, and by no means is well, that's another side of the thing, really. And after my bachelor's degree, I had a few opportunities within my reach for one reason or another, but I got exposed to a lot of volunteering roles, which I took happily. because of my experience as a translator, as I speak English as my second language, there were a lot of opportunities for me to participate, volunteer as a translator, as well as tutoring opportunities, some private, some volunteering. That's how I worked on my soft skills as well as my presentation skills. That led me to a few more good IT contracts, smaller but good IT contracts. I was able to pursue higher education with some savings, of course. That's where I discovered Students' Union and its initiatives. Among other things, the student leader, one of the student leader role is the student representative or course representative, which I am sure some students are, and I'd like to think that a lot of students are interested in this. This is an excellent, this is an excellent initiative to get students into working on their soft skills. This is how you get started. By no means am I saying that student leaders are always favored by industry professionals, but you can see the difference straight away. You can see if a student leader, if a graduate is a student leader, then you'll see the difference in their soft skills, the way they approach a situation, the way they present themselves. You can see straight away it's the soft skills that technology companies go after, on top of technical skills, of course. Now, as a society committee member, I was fortunate enough to work with a team of Computer Science Society committee members. This exposed me to a lot of things, a lot of training opportunities, as well as a degree of finance control that the society has. I'm not too sure if what the setting is now, but this is what I was exposed to, and as well as some practical applications of team management, as well as communication skills that I could work on. This helped me immensely. I was able to progress in my volunteering role, and I was able to influence with the financial side of things. I was also able to persuade the CEO and managing director and take part and lead on the company's initiatives in hiring or reallocation, and as well as software and hardware decisions of the company. So this was a really good role. I could make progress in this role. The Keep Associate Developer role, I came across this role over at LinkedIn. LinkedIn, if you don't, I am hoping that a lot of the students are aware of LinkedIn. It's a social networking site where professionals get to collaborate, communicate with each other. You get to see your Prime Minister, the country's Prime Minister, as well. It's a professional collaboration site. So if you don't have one, I'd suggest you create one to create your network, to network, to establish a communication channel there. It's also a great opportunity. It's also a great place to search for jobs. But having said that, please be aware. Please do make your conduct your background check and do your due diligence when you approach a company or recruiters. It's slightly unsaturated, so it's LinkedIn Handshake. I think the university has Handshake at the moment. I'd say stick with Handshake for jobs and for networking. LinkedIn is a perfect place, but that's where I went with LinkedIn. I saw the job advert. I confirmed the job advert through university's job board. Then I contacted I sent an informal inquiry to the manager, who confirmed that they're still looking for a graduate for this role. The minimum requirement for this role was a bachelor's degree, honors bachelor's degree in computer science, and basic web development skills with knowledge of JavaScript and PHP. Now for the role, I work with, as I mentioned before, I work with an engineering team of 6 on an Agile project, and it's focused on green IT. In the future, now I'm working for myself, or should I say, for hoping to establish my own thing, and I'm starting contracts with the social sector side of things, with councils and smaller companies. And in the future, I'd like to work as a visiting lecturer for Hertfordshire University, depending on where I can fit in. But that's a work in progress. Now moving forward, networking opportunities, and one of the other things that I'd like to point out while you are studying at the university is the networking opportunities that come to you are not, well, I've displayed 4 networking channels here. These are all free, I believe. Now that the Computer Science Society is a BCS student chapter, I believe students can be a BCS member for free, unless I'm mistaken. Now, STEM Ambassador is a great initiative for you to work on your soft skills and also help students get into STEM course in the future. Good thing about STEM Ambassador, if there are any, I'm sure there are international students here. If there are any international students, then STEM Ambassadors does not require home studentship. International students can apply. You just need to pass the DBS check, disclosure barring test, as well as you need to be able to contribute at least an hour per week to go to schools and help speak about STEM course, speak about your course. A small piece of advice I'd give is that try and enroll yourself into a student leader, get some experience, and then go join the STEM Ambassador to work on your soft skills further. And LinkedIn, as I mentioned earlier, is a great place to network with professionals, learn about their work, learn about what they are interested in, and talks you want to participate in. And of course the Hertfordshire Students' Union and the Computer Science Society, who create wonderful events and engaging undergraduate and graduate students alike in a lot of initiatives. I myself participated in a lot of initiatives in the past, so I think that's a great opportunity. And of course, all these are, as I've mentioned before, these can be, you can take part in these while studying full-time, but please be aware that you need to find a balance. And I myself, I allocated 1 hour per week for STEM Ambassador. I went out to help schools with a lot of competitions as a judge or as a member of some kind. And LinkedIn, it's just a social networking site. It doesn't require any time commitments really. Now and then, apart from that, this is additional I'd like to add is I'm also an advocate for health for students and developers. I'd like you to, of course, focus on and pay attention to your health, both physical and mental. If you want to get into tech industry, it's a really good thing, but if you want to continue in the tech industry long term and not just for a few months and few years, then I think taking care of your health, your mental and physical health is rather important. Now, having said that, yeah, I think that's what I'd like to thank the Computer Science Society Committee very much for the invitation, and also a massive thank you to the BCS speaking panel of speakers for your contribution, for your help today. I think it means a lot to us. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask straight away, or use the chat box for any questions. If not, then you still got me for another couple of minutes. I can just chat away, or I'll wait for any questions really. Thank you.